Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, introduce myself. My name is Chofifah, number 074, class 2018 Now, I will explain my research plan with the title Strengthen the Concept of Fraction in Junior High School with a Problem-Based Learning Model through the Edmodo Application. This research belongs to the category of qualitative research. Preliminary Chapter 1 Introduction. There are four components when we making this research, namely coronavirus, fraction, problem-based learning, and Edmodo. We know that coronavirus is one of the factors that makes learning today change. For fraction, we can know that fraction have been taught in elementary school, but at the high school level, students still have difficulty understanding the concept of fraction. Know that fraction are one of the bases in the mathematics according to the Bailey. And we know that mathematics knowledge is incrementally trained knowledge, which means a concept can be a prerequisite for further mathematics. Understanding the basic concepts must therefore be considered. Most of the maths learning done in school focus only on learning about rules, procedures, and formulas to get answer rather than initiating a basic concept on student. Problem-based learning. Fraction conception can be solved by applying problem-based learning models. We know many researchers and teachers claim that the PBL is the solution to conceptual knowledge and not just memorizing in mathematics. Edmodo fractional materials will be taught using the Blue learning model to strengthen concept and thus to overcome them using the Edmodo application. Solution. That's why it is hoped that this research can be useful for education in terms of student errors in working on these problems and can find solution to problems. Now, this is the formula of the problem. First is what are the student misconceptions of fraction? Second is what are the factors causing the misconception of fraction in students? And third, can the Edmodo application for problem-based learning strengthen fraction math concepts in students? And then the last four is how is the readiness of the teacher in making learning application through Edmodo and how is the application of student attraction? This is the purpose. The purpose 1 is to describe students' understanding in solving fraction concept problems. And then second is to describe students' misconception in solving fraction concept problems. Third is to describe the cause of students experiencing misconceptions in working on fraction concept questions. And the fourth, to find the effectiveness of Edmodo in reducing fraction misconception in students. Now is theoretical review, chapter 2. Fraction misconception. Mathematical knowledge is hierarchical. Nakamura 2014. Mathematical knowledge is taught in stages, which means that a concept can be a prerequisite for other concepts. Therefore, understanding concepts for basic topics must be highly considered in mathematics learning. On the other hand, most mathematics learning in school focused on learning about rules, procedure, and formulas to get the correct answer from a problem rather than planting basic concepts for students. This can result in misconceptions among students. According to misconceptions are false beliefs and principles that underline a person's mind, causing a series of errors. And then the second misconception that occur in previous learning can cause obstacle in student in learning. Therefore, misconception on basic topics must be overcome. One of the basic topic in mathematics is fraction. We know that some experts argue that in the interpretation of fraction as quotients, there are two meanings, namely the division and the amount received by its recipient. For example, 4/3 can mean the distribution of 4 chocolates to 3 people, and also a lot of chocolate is obtained by each child. Unlike the parts of the whole, in this interpretation, the numerator can be smaller, bigger, or the same as the denominator. So, interpretation of fraction as measure provides an alternative way of introducing fraction. This has been developed in the Japan text series, which focus on fraction learning not with model arrays or discrete models, but with measurements of fluid length or volume. Fraction as operators is applied in multiplication operation. The interpretation m per n of means the command to multiply by m and divide by n. Now is problem-based learning. Mathematics is an interesting subject and can nurture creativity in life. However, students think that mathematics is an uninteresting and meaningless subject. Students feel afraid, worried, and anxious to learn mathematics. Furthermore, students perceive that mathematics is a difficult subject due to lack of mathematics laboratory and an alternative teaching method that is not related to real life and real world problems. As a result, students focus on the examination without understanding the concept of real mathematics. We know that mathematics teachers should create a learning environment that makes mathematics as an enjoyable subject that enhances student thinking skill, brainstorming, as well as initiates more discussion and give motivation. PBL is a learning approach that uses issues in order to expose students with real-world problems and their application in the workplace later on. PBL is also a group learning strategy where students with different levels, high and low, will help one another towards the construction of knowledge, in-depth understanding, and generic skills such as teamwork, leadership, communication skill, and motivation. Edmodo. The rapid development of the digital era requires a change in the educational paradigm. This change obligates the educational sector to shift the classroom learning system. In fact, what is happening today in conventional learning still dominating the learning method. However, it is believed that conventional learning is not suitable anymore to be used in today's context, when the information-based digital era is penetrated. What is needed today is technology as a learning resource, while conventional learning does not provide that mission. The technology-based learning method is a method that believed to be in line with the characteristic of the millennial student. The use of technology has become a mandatory part for the students today. Therefore, the teacher as a practitioner of the activity must be able to adjust the learning process for such student, because good learning is learning that first to the characteristics of the student. LMS is a software system that virtualizes the online learning process. This LMS aims to provide learning process such as classroom management, material or content creation, discussion forums, scoring system, examination system, and all functions related to the teaching process. One of the LMS that can be used is Edmodo. It is a private school social platform application that provides opportunities. Now we are going to research method, chapter 3. The method used is qualitative, namely grounded theory, preparation states for preparation in conducting research. making research instrument based on a valid question. Second is implementation stage. Implementation stage to select the data, proving the data that has been taken, and providing tests to research subject. That's why. And then the third is analyze stage. Analyze stage is conducting data analysis, providing conclusion. The population and sample. The research was conducted at SMP Surabaya. The research subjects were all Class 7A students with subject selection based on random sampling to obtain the neural research results at this school. And then the data collecting, we're using interview method and test method. First is test method. The research instrument consists of 5 questions taken from the national examination question in previous years because the level of validity was certain, so that the instrument made it suitable for use as a research data collection. And then after test method, we can interview method. This aim to conclude the test result that have been given. And then this is the fraction. In Indonesia is diagram alir because the data source for the research collection was the results. Then the research data were analyzed by referring to Polya theory. That's why prioritizing the student process and strategy in solving problems in mathematics problem regarding fraction arithmetic operation. The validation used is triangulation, in which the researchers will use a variety of research methods, investigators, and theories in order to obtain strong evidence. That's why. And then that's all for me, and thank you all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.